Welcome, and thank you for joining me today. My name is Denise Milburn, and I'm a facilitator and coach at CLE. Our learning today will focus on the Atlas Looking at Data Protocol, which is a structured framework that can be used by teams to drive database decision making. The purpose of this video is to enhance your understanding of the written protocol by providing frameworks and facilitator tips to set you up for greater success when using the Atlas Looking at Data Protocol in your setting. The Atlas protocol, like many protocols, provides a structured approach to looking at and making meaning of data, while also allowing equity of voice. It helps participants to slow down their assumptions and meaning making and urgency to act in ways that can surface data and evidence, not to confirm assumptions or thinking about what is happening, but to broaden perspectives as multiple data observations are surfaced and different interpretations of the data are offered. You would use this protocol if you want to invite multiple perspectives within team memberships to explore, analyze, and make meaning of data to inform next steps. In this video, we will discuss key skills and frameworks that can be used to support a successful Atlas protocol experience. These include data mindsets, making observations, the ladder of inference, and key facilitator tips that can be used during each section of the protocol, and the importance of debriefing. There are three main sections of the process, followed by a debrief. Section 1, participants describe the data. Section 2, participants make meaning of the data by interpreting it. And Section 3, participants explore implications for future work and generate next steps. As we prepare to conduct the protocol, we want to think about the steps we need to take to ensure the process goes smoothly. The first of these steps could be to ask the presenter to be prepared to share data that could be specific to student work, student achievement, survey results, really any data that the presenter is hoping to see differently or use to gain insight. One or multiple sets of data can be used from a variety of sources, and this could be shared ahead of time or during the session. Next, we want to decide how to group participants and how many to put in each group. For example, do we want to look at data as a leadership team, by grade level, in subcommittees, by school, whole group, small group? We also want to have note-taking capabilities to publicly capture the group's thinking during each part of the facilitation. And we want to remind each group to select a facilitator and timekeeper to help the process move smoothly. Now we move into Section 1, the facilitator tips to describe the data. And in this stage, the facilitator can prompt this whole conversation by asking, "What do you see?" At this stage, it is critical to remind participants to stay low on the ladder of inference, to anchor all conversations in data and let the data tell the story, and to know that opportunities to jump up the ladder of inference and meaning making will occur once all the data has been reviewed and the observations noted. However, if people do start making interpretations during this section, as is human nature, the facilitator could keep them grounded in the data by asking, "Where in the data did you see it? And can you direct us to your observations in the data?" Next comes Section 2, in which participants make meaning of the data by interpreting it. These interpretations are not meant to be truths. They are meant to be ways to understand more deeply and engage in discussion and intellectual humility. To support the development of interpretations, the facilitator may ask, "Does anyone have another interpretation of that data set?" If a student were looking at the data, what might they tune into and why? What do you think the students are working on? What do you think the teachers are working on? What do you think the students want you to see in this data? And what if the opposite were true? After spending time surfacing various interpretations of the data, we begin to move into section 3. Now that is where we start thinking about our future work, the implications for our future work, and next steps. In this section, the facilitator invites the group to consider implications and brainstorm possible next steps while connecting their ideas back to the data. The facilitator can do this by asking, what are the implications of this data? What steps could be taken next? What strategies might be most effective in addressing our finding? Additional facilitator tips to keep in mind while considering implications and next steps are, if a judgment's made about the data or the validity of the experience, you could ask, if that is true, what do you do next? What else would you need to learn or do? What is an implication? A next step that might feel doable is what? Now comes the debrief, in which the group debriefs the process in which they just engaged. This is a critical step that is sometimes left out. It is important to debrief the process in order to assess what elements of the process worked and what may need to be strengthened. In order to elicit feedback in the debrief, the facilitator could ask, what about the process worked for you? What didn't work? What about the process helped you to see and learn interesting or surprising things? And how did this process contribute to your community? And what could be improved about the process? Remember, in this part of the debrief, it is important to strictly focus on the protocol process and not on the data presented. Here is a sample facilitator schedule to give you an idea of what the Atlas protocol looks like in action. Looking at the facilitator schedule highlights the pace of the protocol. Utilizing the Atlas protocol is a simple and useful tool to gain multiple perspectives when looking at data, to observe, analyze, make meaning, and determine next steps. It's a highly effective tool for monitoring progress. For additional information on the Atlas protocol and many other protocols, please visit CLE.org. I hope you enjoyed watching this video of facilitator tips to set you up for greater success as you use the Atlas Looking at Data protocol. Thank you for watching.